It's a cold, raw, rainy night in Monroe, Louisiana, but the action inside Fant Ewing Coliseum will be hot tonight between the ULM Warhawks and the visiting Grambling Tigers. Welcome inside this beautiful building, everyone, with a man who took this ULM team to 7 NCAA postseason tournaments, Mike Vining. I'm Len Rollins. Mike, Grambling 4-5 on the year. We'll start with the Tigers. They are led by Devontae Jackson. He's a senior, and he brings a big scoring average into this game.
He does. He's averaging 15.1 points per game and almost 5 rebounds a game, and he's very active inside. He likes to put it on the floor. He can drive. He can pull up and shoot. He does a lot of good things for the Tigers.
He is a 6'9 player from Milwaukee. Now, for the ULM Warhawks, it's been Michael Ertl. He's enjoying a brilliant junior season after 2 years of being very, very good.
He's playing 35 minutes a game, Lynn. He's also averaging 18 points and a little over 4 assists per game. So he does a lot of good things for ULM.
Well, let's take a look at some comparison numbers between the Tigers and the Warhawks.
Well, you know, you look at the points. The Tigers are, you know, they're 15 points ahead, but they scored 147 in one of their early games also. Field goals, Tigers are a little bit ahead. Their percentages, free throws are actually better there. Rebounds is tied. Turnovers, you know, is really close. So, you know, ULM has won the last 8, but they've all been in less than 10 points a game.
Let's get you ready for basketball. Here is the starting lineup for the Grambling Tigers. This is a school about 38 miles west of Monroe. Travell Cunningham, Ivy Smith, Anthony Gaston, Devontae Jackson, and Trayvon Punch. A big guy, an inch over 7 feet, in the middle tonight for the Tigers, who are 4-5. Michael Ertl and J.D. Williams, one of the best backcourt duos in the Sun Belt Conference. Tyree White, who had a nice game his last outing. DeAndre Bernard gets the start, and Chris Efratui also in the starting lineup tonight for this ULM team. There is Dante Jackson in his 3rd season as the Grambling head coach. His ball club has won 4 of 9 games, and in his 10th season, Keith Richard on the ULM bench. We're just about set to go. Mike, this is a great rivalry. These teams are just a few miles apart. And this is a really good matchup for both of these teams as they get a little bit closer to respective play in the Southwest Athletic Conference and the Sun Belt Conference.
It is. You know, these guys, they come to Monroe. The Grambling players come over here. Our guys are around them. ULM, you know, they see each other around at different functions, concerts, and all. So they know each other pretty well. And for the most part, they're good friends. You know, Smith is he's averaging right at 12 points a game and over 5 assists a game. He's the leading assist leader in the Southwest Conference.
Grambling with a second chance opportunity there as the rebound hits the floor, and Gaston couldn't get it to go after the missed jumper by Smith. And here come the Warhawks in white with their first possession. It's going to be interesting to see how those 2 big guys inside work at each other. This is White, left all alone for 3. On line, but a little bit long, and the rebound pulled off by Cunningham, the 6-foot junior out of Chicago by way of Triton Community College. And there's that matchup we were just talking about. Down low, some bumping, and it's going to go back to ULM.
Yeah, they're going to push and shove a little bit on each other. And you know, Coach Richard was talking about it's important they get off to a good shooting start. And, of course, you know, they just had Tyree just had the wide open 3. It just didn't go for him. He said they're going to try to go inside and then kick it back out.
Ertl skidded to a stop.
Got a couple
right
quick
in the
turnovers,
key.
yeah.
This is a guy who's left-handed naturally, but he really works well with his right hand. One of the most ambidextrous players in the Sun Belt Conference.
He is. He tries to get inside and do something. He'll create something, a little fadeaway, or he'll kick it back out to one of the guys spotting up for a 3.
Here's the big fellow inside. He draws the foul as he scores. Trayvon Bunch out of Racine, Wisconsin, the 7'1 senior. Well, did they wipe it off?
They must have called a travel. I didn't see.
So the bucket does not count. Grambling's bench is not happy about that.
He made a good move to get under there. Maybe that was why it was.
Ertl pulls up on the jumper. It clangs off the rim. Rebound taken off by Cunningham.
You know, Grambling has got a good rebounding team, too. They go to the boards really well, and especially the offensive boards. Earlier, when there was a shot, they were battling for it.
Efratui has drawn the defensive assignment against the 7-1 bunch. And that's going to be interesting to watch. ULM on the move. From point-blank range, the scoop shot would not go for J.D. Williams. He doesn't miss many from there.
He doesn't. Well, he's looking for a dunk, but he wasn't able to get there, so he tried to just roll it in. But he did come up with that offensive rebound.
J.D. Williams at 6'5", a backcourt player from Birmingham, Alabama, is a very, very good rebounder for his size.
He sure is. He really is. I mean, he's leading ULM in rebounding.
Second team foul.
Well, that was a quick 2 fouls for Cunningham.
Now he's the junior out of Chicago, the backcourt starting guard. And free throws coming now for J.D. Williams. ULM has been very good in this building against non-conference regular season opponents. They've won 14 consecutive games in games of that type, and they've won 18 of their last 21 home games.
Yeah, they've done a good job here. I think the crowd has come in and support them for the most part. You know, with Cunningham with that second foul this early, he's averaging 28 minutes a game, so they may be looking at bringing him out.
Ertl doubles up on Jackson. The 3-ball from the wing won't fall for Gaston. We've had only one bucket in the first 2.5 minutes. Actually, no buckets, had a couple of free throws.
You know, Grambling's going to spot up on that 3, too. That was the one thing Coach Richard talked about. They really want to take it to the goal. He's going to try to limit that. From the key, a jumper from 16 straight away. A little bit long off the hand of DeAndre Bernard. You know, Bernard is starting to try to get a little early defense on Jackson, trying to not let Devontae Jackson get off to a big start. He felt like that, Coach Richard felt like that'd give him the best defense to start with him. He's been very active. This is Jackson, very strong at 6'9", with a variety of moves. You see him go to his right and then just loop it in. Devontae Jackson, when he gets down on the low block, is a load to handle. And for a big man, he can put it on the floor and drive. He likes to take it to the basket, and then he also pull up and shoot. That's the first bucket of the game. It ties the contest at 2, 16:35 to go in the opening period. Williams, quick turnaround release off the back iron, and a rebound foul is called. Yeah, that might have been a little too quick.
Foul number 25 for Grambling.
That foul is against Jackson.
Yeah, Jackson looks like when who was it? Was Tyree going up after the rebound? He pushed him in the back, and the referee saw it. But they're struggling to get it inbound there for a second, but he got it into Ertl, and here comes J.D. off of that screen. Another quick release, and the 3-ball is down for Williams. That was his 13th triple of the year. That's one behind Ertl. They've got 27 between them now. No defense for that. Cunningham just went right into the bigger guys and laid it home. One of their strengths, taking it to the basket. You know, they're going to have to really move their feet outside, and they're going to have to get some help inside. But they're a little bit afraid of helping too much because they'll kick it out and shoot that 3. Williams spinning, loops it up, too strong off the window, and the rebound pulled off by Anthony Gaston, 6'4" senior out of Richmond, Virginia. 15:45 to go, opening period in Monroe. We're delighted to have you with us tonight. That's going to be a travel, I believe, on Bunch. He spun one way, took an extra step, coming the other way. Let's take a timeout. 15:38 to play in the opening period. The Warhawks 5, Grambling 4. Ho, 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 it's that time of the year. Santa Claus in the building tonight. Santa Claus getting acquainted with the youngsters, and also there was a toy drive associated with this game. If you brought a toy,
then you got free admission. A great idea by the Warhawks. Santa on hand and people getting in the spirit.
It was. And a lot of people took advantage of it, and some of them still are. And looks like Ace is up in the top looking for somebody to take a picture with him, maybe Santa too.
We've got a violation
on the inbounds.
On the inbounds. I believe that was J.D. Williams, who just stepped on the inline rather carelessly as he pitched it into Ertl. When I was looking at it, Mike, on the monitor, I thought I noticed something that looked a little bit weird, and the official was right there and confirmed it.
He just kind of stood there for a second.
And then Grambling gives it right back with a traveling violation.
They do. That's the fourth turnover for Grambling, and the second one for ULM here in less than 5 minutes.
The difference in this game is a three-pointer by J.D. Williams. Here is Ertl snaking between people, hanging, shooting, and he was fouled. Between Ertl and Williams, they have accounted for 27 of the 37 three-pointers made by ULM this year.
They handle the ball an awful lot, and I know Coach Richard asked a lot of them, and you don't see them out of the game very many times.
Ertl last year set a ULM record at the free throw line, a little over 90%. This year he's about 75% with those two free throws.
Well, I know the first game of the year when he missed one, everybody was in shock. I think he was 1 for 2 the first time he went to the line.
I think if you polled most Sun Belt Conference coaches, though, Mike, in a game-winning situation with a second to go and you're down by 1 and you got a guy that's shooting 2 free throws, I'll bet most of the coaches would put Ertl at the line.
I believe they would. I know Coach Richard would.
Shot clock down to 6. They get it down to the big fellow, puts it on the floor, little jump hook, blocked, but a foul called, and it's going to be Bunch going to the free throw line. Trayvon Bunch, a 7'1" senior from Racine, Wisconsin. There's the bumping foul. Tyree White gets called for it, and they say the foul came before the shot.
For the Tigers, number 21, Terrion Randolph.
Terrion Randolph, a junior from Dallas who started his career at Temple College, is in the game, and ULM makes a substitution as well with Uri White, a 6'8" senior from Baton Rouge, coming in for the home team. We have played a little over 5 minutes. Points have been hard to come by. 7-4, ULM leading.
It's been slow, and I think he's bringing Uri in. Uri had been starting. He's bringing him in now to guard the big man to maybe give Efforturi a little bit of a break.
Good defense there by the Warhawks, and 7 on the shot clock. Jalen Hodge also in the contest, a sophomore from O'Fallon, Illinois. His playing time has increased over the last 2 or 3 games.
He really has.
And a scoop from the left side. Good by Ivy Smith. He's good at that. A senior from Tacoma, Washington, averaging 13 a game.
He's difficult to guard out there. He can take it to the goal, get by you, and if you're not careful, he'll either take it all the way or he'll pull up and kick it out to one of the 3 shooters spotted up.
Tyree White had a good look from 6 feet, but just cut it too thin off the window. That's taken away by Hodge. Jalen on the move with the left hand, lays it in. Defense turns to offense in a hurry for Jalen Hodge.
It did. He took it away from him, took it to the leg of the court, and got the layup with a guy chasing him.
Hodge is averaging 5.5 points off the bench, and he's capable of double-digit scoring.
You know, once he started playing a good bit, he's averaging around 16 minutes a game now.
Second foul.
You know, Tyree, now that's his second foul, so he's going to have to be aware. And, you know, here they coming to get him out of there. They didn't get there quick enough before the official handed Grambling the ball to inbound.
FUJ will come in at the next whistle for ULM. There's that strong move by Jackson, but he couldn't get it to go. Grambling keeps it alive and stuffs it back in off the window. That is Terrion Randolph, who just came in the game. He averages a little under 5 a game, but he also pulls down 6 rebounds. He's had 6 starts this year, so this is a guy who knows how to go to work down low.
He just kept that ball alive and went and got it. He wasn't waiting for someone else to get it. He went and got it himself.
Offensive foul A little push off. Looked like Ertl with the right arm was trying to create some space.
Yep, trying to clear a path.
That's his first. Sometimes officials will let that move go by. Sometimes they won't. That time they whistled Michael Ertl.
Well, they're calling it pretty close right now. You know, you've seen the travel. A lot of times you can see them get away with a shuffle of their feet, but they've called everything tonight.
Brent Dugas, Gerald Williams, and Andrew Banner are the officials this evening. Dugas, the crew chief. Williams, referee number 1. Banner, referee number 2.
Looked like
from the slot, right side jumper, good by Jackson. 4 points for him. A senior out of Milwaukee.
He just moves. He just goes to the right place, and he's well aware of where the basket is at all times.
10-9 on that bucket. Grambling has regained the lead. Ertl guarded very closely and quickly by Smith. Hodge from the right side. Offensive rebound. FUJ working hard. May have stepped on the inline. That's what happened.
He did. He just went and got the rebound. He just didn't have anywhere to go with it except down.
"12 minutes and 15 seconds are left in the opening period in Monroe."
You know, except for the one shot that J.D. Williams came off of a screen and hit, ULM hadn't got into a rhythm offensively yet. Grambling's doing a good job of just kind of keeping them off balance.
The Tigers are 5 for 10 from the field. ULM is 2 for 10. That's swatted away, put back, missed twice by Randolph. Grambling, though, with another opportunity. Long jumper from inside the arc won't fall for Kelton Edwards. And right now, points have been very hard to come by. ULM only down by 1, but shooting 20% from the field so far in the first half. Let's take a timeout. Grambling 10, Warhawks 9. There's the Sterlington High School Band in attendance tonight, adding atmosphere to Fat Ewing Coliseum. Sterlington High School is east of here, between Monroe, Louisiana, and Bastrop, Louisiana. And the Sterlington High School Band replacing the ULM band tonight with school off for the Christmas holidays.
And they're doing a great job. They came in ready to play and have been super.
11:43 to go in the opening period. It's been a frenetically paced game, not necessarily efficient. Here's a leaning three. Good by Ivy Smith. That's his 7th of the season. He's got 5 points, the senior from Tacoma, Washington.
You know, that puts him 6 for 14 now, and ULM right now from the field is 2 for 10.
Nice ball movement there, but no finish. That one was there for the picking by Dadu Traore, a 2-footer uncontested, and he couldn't get it to go down.
I think he thought he was waiting to get hit, thought somebody was going to bump him or hit the ball. That was a great pass for him to finish, and he just didn't get it done.
That needs to be a 95% completion shot, though, or more.
It does.
This for 3, a little bit wild from the left side. Let's see if the Warhawks can string a couple of positive possessions together. This for 3. Rebound pulled off by Randolph.
They're now 2 for 12. You know, Grambling is really trying to take it to the goal and then kick it out. That's what they do all year. That's what they've done best, and they're doing a better job of that right now than I think than ULM's doing to get into their offense, to do what Coach Richard wants them to do.
J.D. Williams took that rebound away. ULM needs a high percentage shot here. This is Hodge taking it down low, and he stepped on the inline. That's turnover number 5. That hasn't helped either.
That's about the 3rd time that's happened.
5 turnovers in 10 minutes and 2 for 12 shooting for ULM right now. That's the bad news. The good news, if you're a Warhawk fan, is you're only down by 4.
That's true, and you're at home doing this. You know, Coach Richard really talks about turnovers all the time, and 7 is his goal. Like I said, they've already got 5. in the first 10 minutes.
Nice entry pass and a foul called as Bunch just used his length to grab that entry pass and then was fouled. He is not a good free throw shooter, sub 50%, but he's a load down there at 7-1.
When he gets it there, he's going to do something with it. And you know, they're all just fighting and pushing him, and he's not a standstill 7-1 guy. He's active.
48.3% at the free throw line.
You know, a lot of the post men will just try to catch it and go up with it, or won't shoot it unless they can just go up with it. But Grambling's big guys will put it on the floor and make a move and try to take it to the basket and improve their angle or their distance.
Grambling is shorthanded tonight, and not by just a little. Prince Moss, who's played a lot and averages 10 points and 3.5 rebounds, is out with a foot injury. Zahad Mumford will not play tonight, a freshman out with an ankle injury. He's averaging 3 points. And Tremichael Moten is out with a foot injury. He's averaging about 7.5 off the bench. So they are minus some firepower tonight because of injury, are the Tigers of Grambling.
Yeah, and you mentioned Moss. He's averaging 23 minutes a game played plus the 10 points, and so just out of the game.
Jalen Hodge has a chance for a three-point play. That is a much-needed bucket for the Warhawks.
It was, and you know that offense right there is why he's in the game. Coach Richard has talked about he needed somebody to come in and give him a little spark, and he's the guy. He's probably the best shooter coming off the bench.
So Hodge makes it a 2-point game.
You know, I think they're just kind of waiting to get their rhythm going. And, of course, when you start hitting a couple of shots, that'll get you moving and more comfortable.
Grambling in black with the basketball. ULM defending in white. And that entry pass slapped away by Dadu Traore.
Dadu, yeah, he did a great job of getting it out of bounds because they were trying to. They had him posted up, but he was able to get that hand around there.
Traore looked like a cornerback reaching around a receiver to slap it away without drawing a foul. And there's a scoop at the hoop for the score by Gaston. Senior out of Richmond, Virginia, averaging 10. That's his first bucket.
Well, they come in the game ready to go to the basket. They're just going to try to dribble penetrate every single time down the floor.
Hodge beats his man to the goal, lays it up. It's blocked and a foul called. That shot was blocked by Bunch, but the foul came on Edwards.
His first foul, 16th foul.
You know, Jalen, he shifted it over way out with that left hand, but they just went and got it. It was a good block. He just got fouled by the different person.
Hodge has come off the bench to score 4 points. Now 5. That's what Keith Richard is counting on Jalen Hodge to do.
Instant offense. He just said, I've got to get a little defense out of him with it, but he can really score the ball.
8.5 to go in the opening period. That one's looped high off the window, and an easy offensive rebound by Bunch. When you're 7-1 and it bounces right into your hands, there's not a whole lot that can go wrong.
No, well, ULM went up and tried to block the shot. Well, then they were coming down as the rebound was coming down, and Bunch was able to just get it and go back with it.
Hodge from the corner. That's a 3 ball, and it's in. Jalen Hodge has been a microwave coming off that bench offensively.
He's lighting them up right now. He got his spot, was set, and he can really shoot the ball when he gets the shot he wants.
10 points for Hodge in about 4 or 5 minutes. Williams on the move. That's blocked nicely by Gaston. He was backing up to avoid the contact and still got a hand on it.
Got a hand on it, and JD knocked it out.
Let's call a halt right here. 7:48 to go in the first half. We've got a tight one. Grambling 18, ULM 17. Thank you for spending some time with us this evening from Monroe, Louisiana. Grambling out of the SWAC, ULM out of the Sun Belt Conference, a 1-point game. This one has been tighter than a pair of leather shoes on a rainy night, which is what we have here in Monroe.
Which is what we have right now. You know, it's a good shot of Coach Jackson getting his guys, trying to get them all on the same page and get them to play in the way they're.
He's in his third season over at Grambling.
You know, another thing that we talked about today, Grambling's been on the road a lot of games. They played like 4 games in California, so being on the road doesn't bother them. They came over and practiced last night, and they came over and shot today. So
well, this is like a local game for them, is. 38 miles away.
Right.
Gaston gets rid of it. This is Jackson, so strong, leaves it in the middle to the big fellow, and tipped in. I think they're going to give it to Bunch. They do.
Yeah, looked like Bunch got it. But Jackson came in, he drove, and, you know, they're all trying to keep him from going up with it, and he dumps it off to Bunch, and then Bunch was able to tip it back in.
Bunch, after a slow start, has 5 points. Hodge misses the jump shot. Rebound off to Bunch.
Hodge come up with the kind of little fadeaway. That's not his best shot. It wasn't a bad shot, but that's not his best shot.
Here's Jackson muscling his way in, and he lays it in with the right hand from the left side. Dante Jackson is mobile, and he is very strong.
He just dribbles up to you, and then you've got to stand there to stop him, and then he'll spin and roll off of you. And like I said, he's so big and strong, you have to really bow up to push on him, and it comes natural for him.
22-17 with some contact in front of the Grambling bench and a foul as J.D. Williams was trying to drive. This will be 1-1, I believe. Yes, it will. Williams, the Alabama 6A Player of the Year in his high school senior season. He does not get the bonus.
Just was not able to get that one to go.
The Warhawks are shooting 25% on their own court in the first half. 4 for 16. That was the first free throw miss, though.
Yes, you know, ULM has gotten off to a slow start a time or two, but I don't know if they've been this slow. But Grambling has a lot to do with that, too, now.
Ertl will take the 3 online, but off the back iron. Michael Ertl has only 2 points, and they have come at the free throw line. So this is a guy who normally is good for 8 or 9 in each half, but he has not found the range from the floor.
Yeah, I think Grambling just kind of limited him. He hadn't been able to get inside with it, and then the outside shots he's taken.
Well, Mike, you're right. That's only the second shot he's taken.
Right.
There's the strength of Jackson. Jackson is able to survive some contact. He hangs in the air, makes the adjustment, and drives home the jumper. He's got 8.
And again, you know, we're talking about 6'9". This is a 6'9" guy doing this.
24-17. This is the biggest lead for the Tigers. ULM counters with a nice dish into the hands of Effortui. That's his first bucket.
Yeah, they did a good job of dishing it off to him.
After the shot, Edwards is coming up limping, number 11 in black. He's headed over to the sideline. Jalen Hodge drills the 3, and Edwards is down. He took that shot and then immediately started limping and was able to kind of hobble over to the sideline before going down.
Entering from the Tigers, number 21, Terry and Randolph.
Randolph will replace him.
Josh Mullins for the Warhawks.
And he'll try to walk it off.
Number 5, Tyree White.
Tyree White has come in for the Warhawks. That was a big 3-ball, though, as Grambling had started to assert itself a bit.
Well, Jalen, you know, again, Jalen got his feet set, took the shot that they got for him. He didn't have to create anything, and that's what he does.
Mike, Jalen Hodge has 13 points in 11 minutes.
It's a good thing. He's doing it at a very opportune time because Ertl's having a tough time to get started tonight.
He has well over half of the points for ULM, does Hodge. Shot clock at 3. Fadeaway over Ertl. Bounces, pounces, and goes. A very fortuitous bounce for Gaston. He got it up. Ertl did all he could. He was right there to defend it. But that one bounced and then came down through the net.
You know, Grambling does a really good job of putting the ball on the floor and taking it to the basket. And if you cut them off, they just make something else happen. They go in another direction.
Hodge gets it down to the big fellow. And a jump hook is good. Efratui from 3 feet. Nice little soft jump hook.
That's his second bucket down there, too, so he's getting a little bit more involved.
That was an opportunity for Bunch, but he never quite got it under control. Hodge 1-on-4 will back away. Gets it to Ertl. He'll take the long 3. It almost went down on the second time.
Came out and tried to go back in and still wouldn't. He was a little deep on that one, it looked to me like. And here Grambling is going to come off of the screen and then try to penetrate and then dish it off.
Snaking inside is Smith, but his shot is rejected, and here comes Williams. Down to Ertl. Finally, Ertl. He's a very accurate shooter. He'll take them when they're open, and you want him to do that.
He will. He got spotted up, got his feet set, took one, and he needed that, I think. He just kind of needed that.
And after trailing by 7 just a couple of minutes ago, the Warhawks on that bucket by Ertl have regained the lead, 27-26. Watch Ertl spot up, and he is spot on with this jumper.
He did it.
Warhawks by 1.
Oh, be careful of the man's fur.
16.5 minutes into the game. This is the first bucket by Michael Ertl. It's good for 3, and it gives the Warhawks a 27-26 advantage. Shooting has been a problem. Accuracy has been a problem for the Warhawks. Just 8 of 22 in their own building in the first half. Grambling is 12 of 28, but it's cooled down a bit.
But you know, ULM is 4 for 9 from 3, while Grambling is only 1 for 6 from 3.
So that's a 9-point difference right there, and that essentially is the difference in this game.
It is. And there goes Jackson going to the goal again.
He goes to the right side. He uses the glass, and he scores, and he's got 10 points. He is double trouble down low.
You just don't see a 6'9" guy dribbling on the post, and yet he's very effective with it.
Grambling by 1. 2:45 to go. Hodge wants it back, but he's guarded. Jump hook, but a foul called, and it's going to put Chris Efratui at the free throw line. He's from Nigeria by way of South Plains College.
His second foul, 18 foul.
Efratui.
So that was Jackson's second foul.
Efratui, 58.3%, 7 for 12 at the free throw line.
You know, sometimes it's just hard for those big guys, especially a big post guy, to shoot free throws well.
He hits the second half of the 2-shot opportunity.
He didn't have a problem with that one.
28 each.
You know, Ivy does a great job of running the offense, getting the ball down the floor, getting it where it needs to be. Right now into Jackson's hands where it looks like it needs to be every time.
Jackson wanted it back, and he was open in the slot, but Grambling did not reverse the basketball. Pull-up jump shot. That came up short, and the rebound grabbed by White as it bounced on the floor.
He must have just lost a little bit of control of that. He came off that screen, and he had the shot. It just wasn't able to go.
Hodge tries to loop that one around and was out of the reach of Efratui. Efratui was trying to post up down there, but that was not a good pass.
No, it was not, and there was a guy coming behind him. If he'd have got it, he'd have probably just run over him and got another foul. And Jalen should have seen that. He's the one looking. Efratui can't see what's happening behind him.
Less than 2 minutes remain in the first half. This for 3. Good. Rattles in by Gaston. That's his 11th of the season. So he's familiar with that range.
He is. And, you know, and then again, Jackson helped create that. He backs down with a dribble, and then when you collapse to try to stop him, he kicks it out and was able to hit that 3.
Ertl pulls up, shoots, too strong. And a finish down low by Efratui. Was in the right place to grab it and then just use the window to stick it back in.
He was able to get it and go back up with it and put it in.
70 seconds to play. Hodge almost makes the steal.
That was a good job on defense right then by Tyree White, and then Jalen Hodge trying to save it. but Tyree's the one that got over and stopped that dribble penetration.
70 seconds to play in the first half. 31-30 Grambling. This is Jackson. Gets rid of it, now goes back down low, wants it back, and he's got it back.
If he gets it down on that short corner around that baseline.
They double team him, knocked away, and it went out of bounds. And that was a good double team by J.D. Williams.
No, they call a foul. J.D. got the ball, and they call a foul.
J.D. Williams came over with that double team help and really prevented Jackson from having a lane to spin through. And Williams will shoot 1 and 1, I believe.
Yes, when J.D. went to pick it up, evidently Jackson bumped him over there on the sideline, and that's his third foul.
Oh, that is a crucial foul for Grambling, and it comes with less than a minute to go in the first half. So Jackson, who has 10 points, will be somewhat limited as he'll start the second half with 3 fouls. These are big free throws for Williams. J.D. on the season, 78%.
He's been very active tonight on both ends of the floor. He's been involved with those boards, and he's leading ULM in rebounding.
And leading ULM in free throw percentage as well.
Well, and he's leading in minutes played, so he's doing a lot of good things.
6 points for Williams. The leader is Hodge, who has 13 off the bench. Gaston is fouled. Who did they get?
I think Jalen Hodge is the one. Jalen reached and bumped him.
They called it on J.D. Williams. That's his second.
I thought they called it on. That is his second.
15 to shoot.
So Smith's going to back it out and try to make something happen.
Quick release, 3 ball. No good. Williams sails up and grabs the rebound with one hand.
And then forgets about somebody being behind him. They take it away from him. And then Jalen Hodge almost come up with it. He knocked it out of his hand, but he couldn't recover it.
That is a bad error, though, with 1 possession remaining for ULM right here. And you can see Keith Richard very upset on the sideline. Yeah. He knew his team had a chance to come down and extend the 1-point lead with the last possession. I
think JD just had a memory lapse. He went up and got the rebound and was going to take his time going down the floor, and he didn't realize that there was somebody behind him.
32-31, ULM by 1. Despite shooting only 37%, but that's an improvement from earlier.
It is. It's much better.
Grambling can take the last shot.
And it looks like Smith's going to take it to the goal and then try to score it or dish it off.
Smith with 3 seconds dishes it off. And that is blocked at the end as Trayvon Bunch had that slapped away in traffic. So ULM with nice defensive work down low as the clock expires to end the first half. ULM trailed early and trailed by as many as 7, but the Warhawks now lead 32-31. We will come back in a moment with more from Fant Ewing Coliseum.
If you're going to make one call, make it count. Call Creed & Creed today.
Welcome back to Fant Ewing Coliseum. There are some of the banners which illustrate the successful history of ULM's basketball programs, both men and women. The gentleman to my right, Mike Vining, won over 400 games here at ULM and took his team to 7 NCAA championship tournaments. Both coaches had a little bit of carping at the end of the first half, Mike. ULM was contending that a foul that was called on J.D. Williams actually should have been called on Jalen Hodge. that was your opinion as well. The officials looked at it a long time before going to the locker room here at halftime. I don't know if they made the change or not. It hasn't been indicated on the official score. So they may have left the foul on J.D. Williams.
Yeah, they haven't said it to us, but Coach Richard and we're all over there talking to him about something, and then Coach Jackson was talking to him, and I have no idea what either one of them were really saying. I know they probably didn't worry about which foul it was unless they changed it, and then he wanted them to change it back.
One thing we know for sure, it's been a back-and-forth game. It's been played in a very, very tight range, and right now it's 32-31 Warhawks, and they have survived a start which was icy cold to start the game from an accuracy standpoint. But Devontae Jackson has been a man down low. He's got 5 buckets, 10 points, and he's done pretty much what he's wanted to do.
He just glides through there, and if you bump him, it doesn't affect him at all. He's so big and strong, and he's got a soft touch. For a big man like that to be that physical, has really got a soft touch.
He'll spot up right here from the slot. Meanwhile, ULM's leading scorer, Michael Ertl, has been held to 1 bucket, but it was a big one because the three-pointer from the left side actually propelled ULM into a lead late as we take a look at this one.
Yeah,
only 1 for 5 from the floor, had 2 early free throws, but this one goes down, and that gave ULM a 1-point lead. 32-31, Warhawks, back in a moment. .402 victories for Coach Mike Vining during his head coaching career here, 1981 through 2005, a member of the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. Many of those victories, of course, coming in this very building. We are at halftime as the Warhawks of ULM look to extend their winning streak. In non-conference action, it's 14 straight games in this building, 18 of the last 21. As we take a look at some first-half highlights, and this young man, Jalen Hodge, provided some instant offense. He's got 13 points off the bench, Mike.
He really came up, got a steal, took it to the other end, and laid it up, and then has also hit a couple of threes for him.
Back and forth we've gone. The offense for Grambling has been with Devontae Jackson using his bulk and his slickness and his ability to score on jump shots. As you see Hodge line up, he's got 2 threes in the first half. So it's been Jackson carrying the load for Grambling with 10 points. Balance scoring behind him. It's been Hodge carrying the load off the bench for the Warhawks. Efratui has chipped in with 7 points. Ertl has 5 after a slow start, and Williams has 7. But the 2 backcourt guys, Williams and Ertl, for the most part, have been held in check from the floor.
12 points from the 2 of them, and usually one of them has that apiece.
So it's halftime, 32-31. ULM leading Grambling by 1. We will come back in a moment on a raw, rainy night in Monroe, Louisiana.
And punctuation here. There's no time to edit and resend.
And send.
Another gorgeous buzzer-beating email.
Just remarkable.
Welcome back, everyone, with Coach Mike Vining. I'm Len Rollins. It's halftime in Monroe, Louisiana. We welcome you back inside Fant Ewing Coliseum. The Warhawks by 1. The biggest lead for Grambling in the first half was 7. Warhawks have fought back on a couple of occasions to overcome those leads, and right now lead by a scant point. Mike, let's take a look at some numbers. The Warhawks not shooting well at 38%, but it wasn't that long ago when that number was in the 20s.
Yes, it was in the 20s, and then, the Tigers out-rebounded them, and I'm surprised it's only by 4 because they've really gone to the boards well. ULM has really done well at the three-point line, shooting 44%, and the Grambling is only at 25%. Also, points in the paint. ULM has done a good job there. Steals 3 and 1. So, I think free throws and the three-point percentage is what's keeping ULM in the game right now.
Well, the Warhawks are 10 for 12 from the free throw line. Grambling has attempted only 2 with 1 converted. And then there is a difference in the three-point shooting as well, with ULM up by 6 points total in that category. So that's pretty much the story of the game. 6 points to the good in three-point shooting. And 7 points to the good in free throws. So that's the difference right now. The Warhawks 32 and Grambling 31. What do you think was going on in the locker room on each side?
Well, Coach Richard just telling them, we just got to continue to take our shots. We've got to keep them off the boards. That's the number one thing. They did a good job, for the most part, keeping them off of the dribble penetration, making them give it up. I know Grambling is going to try to get them to pick it up a little bit, especially on defense, and also maybe to push it in, try to get more transition baskets to get down before ULM gets back on defense.
Mike, do you think we'll see any defensive changes on how ULM tries to defend Devontae Jackson, because he's been really strong, really fluid around the rim?
They had talked about just dropping one guy, and just kind of trying to dig it out to give him trouble and make him give it back up. But you can't just commit 100% because he's going to kick it out and they'll hit the shot. But now they have not hit the threes as well right now, so he may commit to that a little bit more.
32-31. The Warhawks have a 1-point lead. We'll come back and get you started in the second half right after this timeout.
Commercial free. NFL Primetime is back Sunday through Wednesday, only on ESPN+.
Santa Claus in the house tonight, and ULM fans bringing toys to the game, which will be distributed by the local Salvation Army. 'Tis that time of the year to be grateful for what we have and help those who may need it.
It does, and I know the Salvation Army means a lot to you, Lynn.
It does. It does.
What does the second half bring us?
Mike, we were talking about the contribution offensively of Jalen Hodge tonight with 13 points. That's one better than his previous high for a single game in his career against Northwestern State earlier this year.
And that was in the first half. So he's got 20 more minutes to build on that, and you see he started the second half also.
White nestles that in. Tyree White. That's his first bucket in his third shot.
He was very aggressive going to the basket with that one, too.
So ULM by 3 now. Grambling in black with the basketball. Snaking inside, ball slapped loose, picked up by Grambling. Jump shot right side, good. Right place, right time. Nice result for Kelton Edwards. First bucket for the junior from Dallas, who started his career at Marshalltown Community College. He's a guy averaging 8 off the bench, so he's capable.
Yes, he is. I mean, and he got that one. It was kind of surprised when he got it, but he knew what to do with it once he did get it. And here's White trying to make something else happen again.
He misses side right, but the ball's knocked to him, and then he can't pick it up. It is grabbed by Gaston.
Trying to get it out, and they got a hand on it. That's another turnover that would have given them another chance to come up with that big shot. And they almost got that one, but JD comes down with it. I'm sorry, Tyree White.
Grambling's best scoring run in the first half was 8 straight points. There's contact. I can't believe we did not get a whistle on that one. Now the ball went in. Very well done by J.D. Williams, but that was a smack.
That was a lot of contact, and it was on the shot.
4-3, left side, right side rather. By Edwards.
Jalen's going to have to be careful. Smith was waiting on him. He thought he was going to take a charge, I think, when Jalen saw him. Good screen and roll.
And we've got a whistle. And White will go to the free throw line.
Foul number 24 for the Tigers, Trayvon Bunch.
Let's go back and look at this contact that did not bring a whistle.
He didn't hit him with his arm. It was all body, but usually that they would call that too.
Tyree White drives home the first free throw.
I think that's his first made free throw tonight.
ULM misses the free throw, only the third miss. And it's going to go to Grambling.
Yeah, after Tui got a hand on it, he couldn't get a hold of it, but he did touch it.
ULM with victories over Louisiana College and Alcorn State. That took overtime. Northwestern State and Millsaps College. Losses to Texas A&M and Mississippi State on the road. And the Warhawks turn that into a flush by J.D. Williams.
That's what they wanted.
Grambling comes right back. Edwards, no points in the first half. Couple of buckets early here in the second.
Yeah, he took that one to go too, but that Jalen Hodge made a great pass back to J.D. Williams, and Earl come up. We talked about what they're going to do to Jackson. He dropped and got a hand on the ball, and they pulled it out and took it to the other end.
Hodge rams home the 3. 16 for Hodge. He continues to add to his career best for a single game.
Yeah, he's not going to stop now.
Hodge is 5 for 7 from the floor, 3 for 4 from three-point range. This is the biggest lead for the Warhawks. But Anthony Jackson cuts into it. Gaston cuts into it. He's got 9.
Yeah, his man left him and went to try to help, and then when he got it back, he didn't get there quick enough, and he just took it to the goal. Grambling will really, really put it on the floor and take it to the goal. And it looks like Grambling's kind of playing a little 2-3 zone.
Hodge works right by the defender, gets it down low. The jump hook blocked by the 7'1" Trayvon Bunch. Well done in traffic. That's not an easy shot by Edwards. He went way under the goal and had to softly find an angle. He did so with an inch to spare. 6 now for Edwards in short order coming out of the locker room.
And there were several people trying to block it. You know, Grambling they dropped back in this 2-3 zone right now, and it's giving them a little bit of trouble. He lost control of that one.
Tui way strong and too high off the window.
Yeah, he was a little bit far out, and he didn't have his feet. He's got to go up straight to shoot that shot, and he was twisting and shooting at the same time. Now, here's somebody who knows what to do with it, but he bounced it off his foot.
Devontae Jackson loses the ball. Let's take a timeout. ULM had a 7-point lead a couple of possessions ago. It's now a 3-point advantage. 42-39. We've got a hot one going here. Watch this. Hodge leads it. J.D. Williams flushes it home.
That's why you run the floor.
That only ESPN can give you. ESPN Daily. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
The Sterlington High School Panther Band on hand to lend festivities to the building. And ULM reveling in a 3-point lead, 42-39, 15:40 to go. Second half here in Fant Ewing Coliseum on the beautiful campus of the University of Louisiana Monroe, divided by Bayou Desert. And of course, that's the home for the multi-national champion collegiate water skiing team here at ULM.
Multi, and about to be home of the medical school.
Hodge works it up with a 3-point lead.
See, Grambling staying in that 2-3 zone. Yes. You know, Hodge he was trying to penetrate inside that. There's it, go get it inside. That's what you do with it, except you got to make it.
Tyree White with a flash down low. Good pass, but White couldn't finish. You know, Hodge is picked off, and the leaner in and out and back in by Ivy Smith. Hodge got picked off that time on the high post, and Ivy Smith took a couple of dribbles beyond him and was able to drop it in.
Well, you know, Hodge penetrated in this zone and got it in there and made a great pass, and just wasn't able to finish with it. They set that high screen, trying to dribble off of it, suck both of those high defenders into him, and then they can dump it down to the corner.
Warhawks by 1. Hodge for 3. Yes! Jalen Hodge, hotter than a fire ant on a fever blister right now.
And another new high for him.
19 for Hodge, 7 better than his previous high in a single game. There's the big guy down there, Bunch.
They can't let him get that low. He was way, way too low. If he gets that low, the postman's got to front him. You cannot let him back you all the way under the basket.
Trayvon Bunch at 7 feet 1 inch tall, a senior from Racine, Wisconsin, has 7. ULM, though, for the most part, has done a good job of scoring in the paint. That time it's taken away. Foul called, and it rolls and falls away. But there will be free throws coming for Kelton Edwards. And this young man, who did not score in the first half coming off the bench, started the second half, and he's got 6 already.
He's done a really good job. He did a great job of running the floor then.
2 shots coming for Edwards. Mike, he has not missed a free throw this year.
He's playing well right now. That was Tyree White's 3rd foul, too, so that's something that, well, it looks like somebody's coming after him now.
He's 10 for 10 on the season.
He's doing a good job. See, he's averaging about 19 and a half minutes a game, but because of the 3 players that we mentioned earlier not being here, there's going to be some more playing time for several of them, and the way he's playing right now, a lot of it's going to be his.
Edwards rolls that one in. He's 11 for 11 at the free throw line this year.
And here they go with the full court pressure, trying to force him to make a turnover. They almost got one there.
Williams gets it down low. A block, but a foul, and free throws coming for the Warhawks. This will be Dadou Traore at the free throw line, the junior from the Republic of the Congo.
You know, he was trying to, I don't know, kind of finesse that shot up there. A guy like that's got to go up and just tear the goal down. When you get in there, contact shouldn't bother you to keep you from making that.
That was his first free throw of the year.
Just wasn't able to come up with it. He got the ball in good position to do something. It was a good pass. But Grambling did a good job of just dropping to him, too.
Dadou leaves that one short. 45 each. 13:40 to play.
Yeah, those are the ones that are big at the end of the game. But if they were making them now, they wouldn't be so big at the end of the game.
Nice hook pass. Great ball movement by Grambling to an open 3 shot from Edwards. It won't go. Rebound taken off by J.D. Williams.
J.D. brought that one down with the force in a minute. We mentioned before, he's a leading rebounder for ULM.
Hodge, yes! Hodge! Jalen Hodge, hotter than salsa on sunburn.
He's doing what Richard brought him in to do.
Jalen Hodge with a career-high 22 points, 10 above his previous best. 7 for 9 from the floor, 5 for 6 for three-point range. Jalen Hodge is putting on a shooting show right now.
He really is. Yeah, J.D. just got that wasn't a very smart foul. It looked like he just caught his foot as he went up. Smith went up to shoot. And he just got one of his feet when he was running behind him.
And by the way, Mike, after the review early during the halftime break about whether it was Williams or Hodge who committed the foul, they did sustain the original ruling. They did give the foul to Williams, which was his second at the time. We just saw his third.
Yeah, that could wind up being a very, very big foul. And that was unnecessary. It didn't have any effect. Smith already had the shot off.
Smith makes it happen at the free throw line, and the Warhawks turn it over in backcourt. Very much an unforced error.
J.D. trying to.
And look at Keith Richard. He can't believe that.
He cannot. He cannot, and I don't blame him. I mean, that wasn't a very smart pass. He didn't have to make that pass. Somebody should have been flashing into the middle that he could hit with the ball instead of throwing across to a postman.
That actually was caught in the second row of the stands. Oh, they are battling for it, and for a moment it appeared that Traore had it, but he stepped on the end line as he and the big fellow Bunch were going at it like 2 wasps in a jam jar.
They're battling under that basket. You know, Cunningham inbounding it.
12 and a half to play. Spot up three, left side, looks good, is good. Kelton Edwards.
Again.
9 for Kelton. They've come in the first 8 minutes after he did not score in the first half off the bench. Right now, Grambling has taken Michael Ertl out of his game. He'll shoot it from the slot. Looks good, but came up short. Ertl just really not on tonight. Not missing by much, but he is a big scorer, but not this evening. Offensive rebound won't go. Big rebound by Traore. And a foul called on Edwards. Holy mackerel. Hang on, everybody. Put the seatbelt on a little tighter. 11:49 to go in this game. Grambling 50, Warhawks 48. More in a moment from Monroe.
Sunday through Wednesday, only on ESPN+.
Warhawk fans excited about the action. It's been back and forth here. And a career game for Jalen Hodge with 22 points on 7 of 9 shooting, 5 of 6 from three-point range, 3 of 3 from the free throw line. He has been dead on tonight.
This is a game he's been waiting for ever since he's been here, and then he's just a sophomore. So now Grambling's going to pick him up full court again. You know, they've got a couple of turnovers. You know, and again, you know, we've mentioned before, you don't have to come up with the ball for your press to be successful. You burn in some of the shot clock. Then they were going to trap when they got across half court. Now they're dropping back into their zone.
This is Hodge at the point. Now Ertl.
See, they're pretty aggressive with their hands going after the ball.
Shot clock at 9. Hodge in and out. Rebound by Grambling. Pulled off by Travell Cunningham from Chicago, a junior.
Hodge did a good job of using that screen, and that was a good shot for him. It just didn't go.
Here's Jackson. He has not scored in the second half after 10 in the first. Pull-up jump shot from the key online, but long, missed by Smith. Offensive rebound, put back up and in. Nicely done by Randolph. That's his second bucket, his first of the half. Junior from Dallas at 6'8", averaging a little under 5. He's had 6 starts this year.
He did a good job of getting that and putting back. That wasn't a gimme on that shot he made.
52-48, Grambling quietly by 4. Remember, ULM came out and strung a few buckets together to start the half and led by 7.
JD's having trouble keeping a hold of it, but
and tipped in down there. Tipped in by Bernard. DeAndre Bernard, first bucket for the graduate student from Toronto, Canada, and that was a big one to clean up the mess.
Right, and he got his first start tonight. That's the first bucket we've got for him.
That's a held ball, and the arrow is going to stay with Grambling.
And the same person we were talking about, Bernard, in there with a hand on it. Richard loves his energy. Coach talks about, you know, he just brings it every single day. He's got a big, high-running motor.
10 minutes and 11 seconds to go. 52-50. Grambling has lost 8 straight games to the ULM Warhawks. Many of them have been very close.
They have been close.
A looper on the run. Won't go off the right hand of Gaston.
And Jackson, just from attracting attention that he gets, they'd all drop waiting on him to penetrate, and that's why he was able to get that pass across court to an open man, but they just wasn't able to score with it.
Jackson has not been a factor offensively in the second half. Ertl got caught in the middle.
But he was trying to give it up.
And the result is a fast break bucket by Cunningham.
He was trying to give it up, and I'm not sure you can lob in this game right now with those big guys from Grambling in there.
They've got some redwoods in there down low.
They do.
Ertl gives it up. Shot from the wing by Williams. Jackson with a rebound.
Yeah, he was just trying to keep that one alive, and you know, Grambling is just kind of, like you mentioned, just slowly kind of pecking away here. They come up with one here, come up one there, and then they stop ULM a couple of times, and then they go inside to their man.
This is Jackson, jump hook, rattles out, rebound taken off by Bernard. Hodge falling down. Can't get it to go. Here comes Grambling. 3-on-1. Ertl the only defender. And it's finally put back in. Ertl did a great job of doing the best he could, but Randolph finally was there to stick it home. And ULM will take a timeout because Grambling has moved to a 6-point lead, 8:36 to go. Is this the night that Grambling breaks the 8-game losing streak that ULM has over it? We'll find out. 8.5 to play. The lead is 6 by the Tigers.
Sending it. Sixers, Rockets, Pelicans, Lakers. Friday on ESPN. Ball for all.
Mike Vining, Len Rollins with you from Monroe. This is Kelton Edwards. He did not score in the first half, but he has come out with 3 deuces and a triple in the second half, and he has been a big part of the Grambling resurgence to a 6-point lead.
He's been very aggressive, going to the basket and then just looking for the shot. He's been high energy this second half. You know, Coach Richard called that timeout, I think, just to let the guys, hey, this game's slipping away. We've got to make sure we get a good shot. We've got to slow them down. We've got to come up with these rebounds, you know, to get a complete game before it gets too far out of hand.
This is a very big possession for the Warhawks, and they have trouble getting it in against the Grambling press.
Well, their back guys, Grambling did a great job. Grambling did a great job of keeping the guards from getting the ball, and the back guys, the big guys, one of them's got to break up and get the ball, and they were back assuming that they were going to get the ball in.
Grambling is 16 for 4, or I beg your pardon, ULM 16 for 40 from the floor. Grambling has cranked up 14 more shots and hit 8 more. Jalen Hodge is having a career night. This young man with 22 points, his previous best in a single game was 12 earlier this season against Northwestern State.
Well, he picked a good time, and he needs to start it up again if ULM is going to come back from this 6-point deficit.
The Warhawks shooting 40%. And Grambling at 44.4.
See, they broke Tyree White up that time to get the ball in. That's what should have happened last time, but somebody wasn't paying attention. That's a dangerous pass, a flat pass across with the pressure.
Half the shot clock is gone, but still plenty of time with which to work on this possession. This is Ertl.
See, that zone is really, really wide, and they don't have anybody at the high post.
Shot clock at 3, and Ertl loses it out of bounds. That was an unprofitable possession for ULM.
It was. That wide zone, you know, they can't swing it with ease. They're going to have to penetrate it, and he tried to take it to the basket and lost it. They're going to have to penetrate into the middle to suck the defense back and into the middle so they can kick it out.
2 players are in double figures for the Warhawks. Hodge with 22, Williams with 11. Edwards has 11 all in this half. And Jackson with 10. He has not scored in this half for Grambling. We'll take a timeout right here. 7:50 remaining. Grambling 56, ULM 50 from Monroe.
Sixers, Rockets, Pelicans, Lakers. Friday on ESPN. Ball for all.
ULM cheerleaders trying to rally the Warhawks from a 6-point deficit. 7:50 to play in the first half. And youngsters in Pat Ewing Coliseum tonight, always good to see, Mike Vining.
It is. It is. You know, they come in, identify with the players, and they'll want to come back. It's good, clean entertainment, and it's good for the players to see those kids here, too. I think it makes an impression on them. But they're going to continue with the pressure to give ULM a chance to give it to them without them having to take it away. Got to get the ball. Hodge is in the middle right now.
And it's taken away.
They got it across half court, and they trapped him and come up with it. And then comes up with an offensive rebound.
Ivy Smith misses the jumper, but the possession remains with Grambling. Smith snakes inside, uses the left hand, and scores. An acrobatic left-handed shot by Ivy Smith.
just found a way to get it in there.
Mike, this is the biggest lead in the game for either team. Grambling by 8 now, and this possession is absolutely critical for the Warhawks.
Yes, they've had ULM all out of whack here lately. They've just done a good job, but there's another
turnover. This has been giveaway by the Warhawks the last 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, Tyree comes in, White comes in to the high post and then try to give him the ball, and he misses it.
Santa is not the only person giving away presents tonight.
You're right. Salvation Army is not the only one receiving gifts.
Nice pass down, kick out, 3-ball. And a rebound foul is called after the miss by Gaston. That's going to go against Randolph.
Number 21 from the Tigers, Randolph.
That's his first one, but they are going to the boards. They get a run and start and go.
Entering for the Tigers, number 11, Kelton Edwards.
Now Edwards comes back in the game with 11 points, 4 deuces, and a triple, all of them in this half.
You know, this press is just to make you stay under control. You get across half court, and they're going to jump you right there. And that line, half court line, is another man. That was the one Ertl needed. He was spotted up, got his shot. He needed that one for himself and ULM.
58-50.
See, Grambling can just come down now and do what they want to for a while. They don't have to get in a big hurry. They'll still try to dribble, penetrate, or get it inside to Jackson, which they're doing right now.
Ertl got a hand on it, but it will stay with Grambling.
Yeah, I think it went off for Tyree.
Grambling will take a timeout here.
Timeout, Tigers.
Yeah, Tyree dropped to help out, and I think it either went off his foot or he touched it trying to save it. There's Coach Jackson. He's letting them know what he wanting out of them with this next, right at 6 minutes with this 8-point lead.
It's been 4 minutes and 27 seconds since ULM has last scored.
Well, they're struggling right now. They're just not in any kind of sync, no kind of rhythm on offense.
Grambling will host Rust College and then play at Marquette, and then go to the University of Dayton, and then host Alabama A&M, Alabama State, play down in Baton Rouge against Southern, at Alcorn State, and then in the middle of January host Prairie View A&M. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Grambling with the ball. Little lob in to Jackson. He misses from 6 feet.
I thought he was going to shoot it before he came down. With 2 seconds, he was kind of pressing his luck, but he came down and got it back off. It just was not able to get it to go.
That's normally a very high percentage shot for him.
It is.
He has been shut out in the second half, but Grambling hasn't needed him.
No, they haven't.
This for 3. ULM needs it. Rattled out off the hand of Williams. Been a long time since the Warhawks have had a point.
They've got nothing. Well, they've got nothing from anywhere, but they've got nothing inside the second half. Ertl very aggressive there.
It's been 5 minutes since the Warhawks have scored.
That's and they got 5 minutes left. So, you know, if they don't crank it up, then that'll end that 8-game winning streak against Grambling.
And the 14-game non-conference winning streak in this building.
That one had a chance to go. They did a good job of defending him, but he got the shot off.
FUJ grabbed the rebound. He sets a pick. FUJ rolls inside, but it's not available.
So that's
FUJ.
That's where
down,
the ball has to go.
Kicks it back to Ertl. Tries to get it down low, and it's slapped out of his hands, and it was very fortunate that the Warhawks will retain control with 9 on the shot clock.
Yeah, Ertl was trying to dump it down low. He was wide open, but I think he telegraphed his pass, and they just got a hand on it. But Traore had the ball in the middle. He just wasn't able to do anything with it. He's going to have to be ready to shoot it.
Shot clock at 6. At 3. That goes. Tyree White That's a big bucket for ULM.
It was. They really, really needed that one. They were struggling. Now they got to come up with another stop. You know, even when they stopped Grambling earlier, they weren't able to score and take advantage of it.
Well, Grambling hasn't scored in the last 3 minutes after a 5-minute drought for ULM.
Well, there goes Jackson. He'll take care of that.
That's his first bucket in the second half after 10 first-half points.
See, he went in and made contact and kind of made him stagger back and then was able to finish.
Less than 4 minutes to play. Hurdle, left side, got it for 3. A huge shot for the Warhawks.
That's one he's been looking for. That's got it back to 5. And ULM's got to come up with a stop if they're going to do anything about winning this ball game in this next 3.5 minutes.
Only 8 for Ertl tonight, but that was a big, big bucket. He's 10 below his average.
Well, he kind of got his rhythm. They went in and came back out, and he got his feet set, took it down. You're trying to steal it out at the top.
FUJ trying to take it away from the point guard, and that's not a good matchup for the Warhawks.
No.
Let's take a timeout. 3:18 to go. ULM trails by 5. Grambling 60. Warhawks 55.
Join us for the 2020 Hawk Talk Basketball.
It's my fur. Oh, be careful of the man's fur.
Grambling by 5. The last couple of buckets have come from Ivy Smith, and then the big fellow down low, Devontae Jackson, working right here. He bumps off the defender and then clears himself for an easy lay-in. And Grambling leads 60-55, trying to break an 8-game losing streak to the Warhawks. And if they get the win tonight, it'll be the first time in 15 games that ULM has not had a victory in this building against a non-conference opponent.
It will, and you know, the two guys we just featured there, Smith and Jackson, is a major part. That's the two guys that's done it all year for Grambling, and they're doing it again here tonight.
This is Smith against Hodge. 6 on the shot clock. Pull-up jumper inside the three-point line. Ertl grabs the rebound. That was Edwards who missed it. Let's see if ULM can have a positive possession. There's a clutch shot by Ertl, Michael Ertl. A triple from the left side. A deuce just inside the three-point line. Ertl, very capable of that. The three-point lead is now tenuous.
Yeah, that's something we mentioned. Coach Richard might put the ball back in Ertl's hands and let him create instead of let the ball come to him. Let him have the ball.
Pull-up jump shot. Go good. Oh, Ivy Smith. Ivy Smith. That's a damaging blow right there.
That had an awkward look when it left his hand, but it didn't when it went through the net.
Ivy Smith with a big bucket, 62-57. Smith heating up in the second half. ULM is working with one timeout, and Grambling has a couple of them to use. 2:05 to go. The Warhawks will own the ball if we have a held ball. And meanwhile, free throws coming for Tyree White.
You know, he got the ball in the short corner and he couldn't get it off, and he was trying to take it to the basket and create something and got fouled.
Mike, it's hard to believe, but that's only the third free throw of the season for Tyree White.
He doesn't usually get involved, you know, putting the ball on the floor, taking it to the goal. He's usually a catch and shoot kind of guy. But he was trying to create and make something happen then, because ULM really needs it. And he knocked both of those down at a very opportune time.
He'll take them.
Now ULM is going with a full court press, trying to speed this game up a little bit. And again, give Grambling a chance to give them the ball, not necessarily take it away from them. Looking for the trap.
Well, the Warhawks have a couple of fouls to give.
And they got a 10-second.
So the Warhawks' defensive pressure results in a 10-second violation. 1:54 to go. Yeah. It's a one-possession game. The Warhawks can tie it with a 3-ball.
Yeah, they got the ball, and they're going back to man-to-man now.
Ertl falls down. He gets his legs crossed with Smith. They both hit the ground, and the Warhawks spend their final timeout.
Yeah, they got tangled up, and if Richard hadn't called that timeout, it could have been a travel because Ertl had slid. You know, that was a tough situation. I don't think Smith didn't intentionally trip him, but they both fell down.
And the Warhawks have used their final timeout. Here's what's upcoming for ULM. It will go to Stephen F. Austin. That's the Southland Conference team that went to Duke and knocked off the Blue Devils a week and a half ago. Little Rock on the 19th in this building, Arkansas State on the 21st. And then at Butler a few days after Christmas. Troy will be here on January 2nd, and so will South Alabama. And then the Warhawks go to Coastal Carolina and Georgia Southern, with Sun Belt Conference play not far away.
Yeah, after Butler, it's nothing but conference.
This is Ertl, and it actually looked like Smith lost his footing, went down, and then Ertl kind of tripped over him. A good no call, I think.
It wasn't. It wasn't. You know, he tripped, but. Again, it wasn't anybody's fault. They both just fell.
102 seconds remain. Hang on to your chairs, everybody. ULM will put the ball in play from the baseline. J.D. Williams will trigger it.
Listen, now they got to make sure they get this in. They got 19 seconds on the shot clock. They got to be aware of that. See, they're trying to keep the ball out of Ertl's hands. They're doing a good job there.
This is Williams. Shot clock at 8. Williams takes it to the rack on the right side and lays it in. J.D. Williams hanging in the air and then softly kissing it off the backboard.
He just accelerated and blew by and was able to finish with it. 13
for Williams, 10 for Ertl, 22 for Hodge.
Well, it's about 70 seconds left in this game.
62-61, Grambling holding on to a scant 1-point lead.
Well, now they're fronting Jackson down under the basket. They're not going to let him have it.
Smith backs away with 5 to shoot. Puts it on the floor, loops it up, in and out and back in. Ivy Smith, the point guard, taking control here the last couple of minutes.
That was a big basket. That was a very aggressive, and that's just as a leader. The guy's averaging 8-10 points a game, and he's averaging about 32 points minutes a game. So he's used to having these kind of games.
Let's take a look at Ivy Smith. This is with the shot clock at 2. In, out, back in.
That's what they say.
During the timeout, Trayvon Bunch is going to come in on the defensive side for Grambling, that 7'1" senior. So look for number 24 in black coming into the game when we resume.
Yeah, that'll stop a little of that, maybe some dribble penetration. But ULM is, they've got 54 seconds now, and they're down 3, so they've got to score and then come up with a stop.
But it's a one-possession game if ULM can find a 3-ball.
Yeah, that was a big, big bucket for Ivy Smith. He just took it to him.
The Warhawks still have a foul to give.
So they're back into pressure again with the zone.
Ertl is calling for the ball on the weak side, but they can't get it to him until now. Not in a position to shoot.
He's got to come off with the screen, and they're going to switch. Got a bump.
And a little reach-in foul on Cunningham, and Ertl will be fouled on that.
6th team foul.
That is the 6th team foul. So ULM has 3 fouls to give before Grambling will be shooting free throws.
So now they're inbounding with 20 seconds. Oh, and he threw it away.
A critical mistake, a foul called.
No, goaltending.
Oh, it is goaltending. A critical mistake.
On an inbounds. On an inbounds play, you just give it up in the last 30 seconds.
ULM has got to hurry. Williams rises, shoots, misses, tipped against the glass. Kept alive by the Warhawks, but it's taken away. That ball was kept alive by White, and then he lost it.
He got it.
White really worked hard, and then his pocket was picked.
Went up and got it, lost it, tried to grab it again, and then they took it away from him.
Mike, let's go back and look at the goaltending. This was after an unforced error on the throw-in, and yes, clearly goaltending.
He was just trying to make up for that, but it was too late.
15 seconds to go.
You know, I was expecting him to throw it long that time. Jalen Hodge comes up with the foul. He's trying to stop the clock, but it's 5 points now with 13 seconds. And like I said, they got fouls to give.
They're going to have to foul again quickly, which will not be a shooting foul.
Yeah, it'll have to be quick. See, they give him too much room.
ULM not able to foul. Finally, Ertl runs down there and fouls Smith. This is not a shooting foul, though, and 4 or 5 more seconds went off the clock.
But when they broke up to catch a ball, somebody should have been there with him, either going for the steal or the foul.
Well, no, wait a minute. They're going to put, no, that's not a shooting foul, according to the scoreboard. And now they call Grambling over for the throw-in. Both teams have 16 fouls.
Well, it's 7 seconds now. Well,
and
Grambling came in here.
8-game winning streak against Grambling is over.
They came and did what they had to do to take the win, and they got it.
Well, an interesting game in that Jalen Hodge really went off offensively. 22 points for him. That's a career high. Williams with 13, Ertl with 10, but it was a struggle from the field for him tonight, and that's very uncharacteristic. 15 points for Smith. Jackson with 12, Edwards with 11 to lead Grambling. For Mike Mining, I'm Len Rollins. So long from Monroe. The final score, Grambling 66, ULM 61. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.